Hey friends, it's Michelle from Little Farm in the Valley. Another beautiful summer morning on the farm. I caught this adorable scene as I was doing chores this morning. This is the cutest thing ever. So on today's agenda, I've got a whole bunch of kitchen work that I need to do. I've got cheese making to do. I've got chicken dish to prep for later. I've got sourdough bread that I mixed up yesterday. And if I have time, I want to make a sweet treat this afternoon. So we've got a lot of stuff to do in the kitchen today. So let's get cooking. So my sourdough bread that I mixed up last night is ready for its second rise. So I'm going to stretch and fold and shape it about 4 times with about a half hour to an hour period in between where I let it rest. So most of the morning as I'm doing other stuff, I will be checking in and stretching this bread, and then after a couple hours of checking on it periodically and doing some stretches and folds, I'll be baking it. So next I'm going to work on a chicken dish for tonight. I do absolutely everything I can in the morning when either the baby is napping or Stetson is pretty occupied, because you just never know on the farm if you're going to have time later to prep supper. And of course there's some things that you just can't prep ahead of time, but in this case I'm doing a chicken and rice dish, so a lot of that, in fact the whole dish, can be prepped ahead of time. So I'm chopping up a whole bunch of veggies, mushrooms, carrots, celery, onions, and then I usually do lemon on this recipe, but since I don't have a lemon, I'm going to substitute some oranges and make orange chicken and rice out of this dish. So I'm going to mix my veggies into the rice, and then I'm going to make up a liquid, which is bone broth. I'm going to use chicken bone broth, and then I'm going to mix in some garlic and all kinds of seasonings, and I'm going to whisk that together, and I'm going to lay these oranges on the bottom of my cast iron on top of that rice and veggie mix. I had to pause really quickly to do another stretch and fold on my bread. It looks ready to go, so I'm actually going to lay it on parchment and get that ready to be put in the oven. This is actually a whole wheat sourdough loaf. It's something that I've been working a lot on lately, is kind of seeing if I can get away from using white flour. And this particular recipe with whole wheat flour is a sourdough recipe that actually turns out for me. So I figure I'm gonna try a couple more things with just whole wheat flour coming up. But for so far, I've only tried the sourdough artisan loaf, but it turns out so well for me that soon I'll be brave enough to try other things with just whole wheat flour. I'm getting out my pestle and mortar to grind some fresh rosemary and parsley, and I grinded that together with salt, and I'm gonna rub that over the chicken for the chicken dish. did find some time this afternoon to make that sweet treat that I was talking about. This is a copycat Reese's Pieces recipe, and it looked so good I had to try it. So first I took my melted chocolate chips and put a thin layer on the bottom of my muffin cup and froze it. Then I took it out of the freezer, and that tan that you're seeing there is the filling. And the filling is yogurt, peanut butter, sugar, no, not sugar, sorry, honey. And you could use sugar if you wanted to, but I used honey. And now I am filling the top with more melted chocolate chips. And then I'm going to toss that in the freezer. And it's actually supposed to kind of stay in the freezer or the refrigerator because of that soft filling in the middle, that yogurt filling. And these turned out so delicious. And then I actually took some salt and just sprinkled a little bit over the top before I popped them in the freezer. And of course, once they were firmed up, I popped them out of the muffin tray, and I'm going to store these in the freezer. And they're just kind of going to be some grab and go snacks. I was amazed that these turned out so good. Tell me you don't want to take a bite of that. Absolutely delicious. Okay, I want to see you taking a bite. It's hard to put into words how desperately we need rain right now. So hopefully we'll get a lot of rain out of this storm. There's just something magical about stormy skies and thunder in the background and beautiful scenery. I just absolutely love taking pictures and videos when the sky is cloudy and stormy. It just makes for great tones and great sound effects too. Well, that about sums up my day, guys. I always love to end the day with some beautiful scenery on the farm and just enjoying the sights and sounds of summer. And yes, we did get some much needed rain out of these beautiful skies. So as always, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos. We will talk to you soon.